If you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns have once again found a way to stir the pot in the NFL world, and this time, it's all about their quarterback room. During the 2025 NFL Draft, the Browns shocked fans and analysts alike by selecting not just one, but two rookie quarterbacks, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Now, while Gabriel was picked earlier, it's Sanders, the day 3 selection, who's lighting up the media headlines and sparking heated debates among fans and commentators. Why? Because there's something electric, almost magnetic about Shedeur. He's not just Deion Sanders' son, he's a baller in his own right. Browns fans, already eager for a franchise quarterback, are starting to believe they may have found a gem in the 5th round. And when you get someone like Bruce Drennan chiming in with his trademark insight, it only fuels the hype. Drennan didn't hold back, and his take, let's just say, is getting everyone talking. Bruce Drennan, the legendary Cleveland sports voice with decades of experience and a no-nonsense style, recently made waves on his show when asked a seemingly simple but surprisingly loaded question. Between Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, who has the brighter future with the Browns? After acknowledging how tough the choice was, especially considering both quarterbacks bring different skill sets and backgrounds to the table, Drennan made a clear call. Gotta say Sanders, he said with conviction. What followed was a breakdown only someone like Drennan could give. He dove into Sanders' numbers at Colorado, emphasizing how his production came from smart, safe throws like screen passes, and how he excelled at putting the ball in playmakers' hands, especially Travis Hunter. Drennan noted how Hunter could take it all the way once the ball was in his hands. The implication? Sanders doesn't need to do it all himself. He just needs to run the offense efficiently and intelligently. Drennan's assessment sheds light on what's often overlooked with quarterbacks: decision making. While everyone gets caught up in arm strength, mobility, and highlight reel plays, Drennan focused on Sanders' ability to make quick, safe decisions and execute a game plan. In today's NFL, especially with the way defenses disguise coverages and bring pressure, that kind of poise is gold. The Browns are in a place where they don't necessarily need a quarterback to win games single-handedly. They need someone who can manage drives, protect the ball, and make the right read. Sanders, by Drennan's account, has those traits. And even though he dropped to the 5th round, it's clear that his mental approach and mechanics are impressing the people who matter. Drennan didn't deny that Gabriel has upside, but his belief in Sanders' long-term potential was striking. For a guy picked so late, the idea that he could become the one is enough to get fans dreaming. It's not just talk either, since landing in Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders has made it his mission to turn heads. Not with words, but with work. Rookie minicamp gave fans and coaches their first real glimpse at him in a Browns uniform, and the early reviews. Extremely promising. Rather than sulking over being passed over by every team multiple times, Sanders has approached his situation with a chip on his shoulder and the maturity of a veteran. Coaches have repeatedly pointed out his focus, his command in the huddle, and his ability to process the playbook at a pace that's ahead of expectations. That kind of approach matters, especially in a quarterback room that's already crowded. You've got veterans like Joe Flacco, you've got Kenny Pickett looking to rebound, and you've got Dillon Gabriel, who's no slouch himself. And yet somehow Sanders is standing out. The quarterback situation in Cleveland is as complex as it's ever been, and head coach Kevin Stefanski will have some tough decisions ahead. Flacco, the veteran leader, may offer a steady hand. Pickett still has potential to tap into. Gabriel brings versatility and athleticism. But Sanders, he's the wild card. And right now, wild cards are exciting. Coaches are starting to notice that he's not just showing up, he's showing out. The mechanics are smooth, the footwork is crisp, the reads are sharp, and perhaps most importantly, the attitude is right. There's no sense of entitlement from Sanders. Despite coming from a high-profile background and being in the spotlight throughout his college career, he's operating like a guy who knows he has everything to prove. And that hunger? That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's also worth remembering that being a 5th-round pick in the NFL doesn't mean you're destined for the bench. History is filled with examples of late-round quarterbacks who rose to greatness, Tom. Brady being the most obvious. Sanders may not be Brady, but he doesn't need to be. He just needs to keep doing what he's doing. outworking expectations and outshining those ahead of him on the depth chart. With OTAs and training camp still to come, the real competition is just getting started. But don't be surprised if Sanders starts getting reps with the first team sooner than later. That kind of momentum, when it builds early, has a way of becoming hard to ignore. And once a coaching staff starts believing in a guy, it doesn't matter where he was drafted. It only matters what he does now. Fans, for their part, are buying in. The buzz on social media has been nonstop since the minicamp clips started surfacing. Sanders dropping dimes in tight coverage. Sanders escaping the pocket and extending plays. Sanders leading teammates with confidence. Brown's Twitter is ablaze with speculation, and for a franchise that's endured its fair share of quarterback woes over the years, even a flicker of hope can turn into a wildfire. There's a sense that maybe, just maybe, Cleveland stole one in the 5th round, and for a team trying to climb out of the AFC North basement, that could change everything. Drennan's comments added fuel to that fire, and while it's early, people are beginning to believe that Sanders might not just make the roster, he might one day own it. What makes this story even more compelling is the contrast between Sanders' flashy college brand and his quietly confident start in Cleveland. At Colorado, he played under the national spotlight, surrounded by hype and high expectations thanks to Coach Prime's media magnetism. But here with the Browns, he's had to tone it all down and earn every snap. And he's doing just that. The Browns coaching staff isn't known for giving away praise, but the fact that Sanders is already generating whispers about possibly climbing the depth chart speaks volumes. He's backing up every bit of hype with humility and hard work. And that's how you win over a locker room. That's how you win over a city. And eventually, that's how you win the job. Of course, nothing is set in stone. The NFL is a brutal business, and there are still months of evaluations, practices, and preseason games ahead. But what's becoming clear is that Shedeur Sanders is not content with simply being a backup or a developmental project. He wants to compete. He wants to lead. And if his trajectory continues on this upward path, the Browns may have a real dilemma on their hands. Not because they lack options, but because they may have more talent in the quarterback room than they know what to do with. That's a good problem to have, especially for a franchise that's been starved for consistency at the most important position in football. If Sanders keeps rising, Drennan's prediction might not just be interesting, it might be prophetic. So, as the offseason rolls on and the Browns gear up for training camp, all eyes will be on the quarterback competition. Gabriel will fight. Flacco will try to hold down the fort. Pickett will battle for a second chance. But the buzz, the energy, and the potential Cinderella story all seem to be wrapped around Shedeur Sanders. From a 5th-round pick to potential future franchise quarterback? It's a long road, but as Bruce Drennan pointed out, the tools are there, the mindset is right, and the journey has only just begun. Stay tuned, Browns fans, because this QB room drama is just heating up, and it's going to be one wild ride. Enjoying the content so far. Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. It's the kind of move that sends shockwaves through the NFL, the sort of breaking news that leaves fans scrambling to double-check their notifications and pundits racing to rewrite their power rankings. Alec Pierce, the talented wide receiver, once seen as a promising future star with the Indianapolis Colts, has just been officially announced as a member of the Cleveland Browns. That's right. Alec Pierce is now a Brown. No rumors, no speculative trade talk. This is locked in. And let me tell you, this move didn't just come out of nowhere. It came from the stratosphere. Absolutely no one had this on their offseason. Bingo card. No insiders were whispering about it. No cryptic tweets to decode. No hints. Just boom, out of the blue. Alec Pierce in a Browns jersey. Let that sink in for a moment. We're going to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how this could shift the AFC North landscape dramatically. For those who haven't followed Pierce closely, let's rewind a bit. Alec Pierce came into the league as a second-round pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, taken by the Colts after a standout college career at Cincinnati. His combination of size, speed, and deep threat ability made him a very intriguing prospect. Standing 6'3" and running a 4.41 40-yard dash, he brought that classic vertical stretch that every quarterback dreams of. In Indianapolis, he flashed potential. He really did. But like so many young receivers, consistency was a struggle, and the Colts quarterback carousel certainly didn't help matters. Still, even in a turbulent offense, Pierce made plays. There were moments, those beautiful highlight reel catches that reminded everyone just how high his ceiling could be. But few imagined that just a couple seasons in, he'd be donning the colors of a division rival in one of the league's most passionate football cities. So, how exactly did this happen? From what we're hearing, this wasn't just a random transaction. It was a calculated strategic move by Cleveland's front office. The Browns have been actively looking to retool their wide receiver room. With Amari Cooper getting older and Elijah Moore still finding his rhythm, the team wanted to bring in a young, athletic pass catcher who could stretch the field and open things up for Deshaun Watson. That's where Alec Pierce comes in. Reports suggest that this wasn't just a snap decision. The Browns had been keeping tabs on Pierce since the end of last season. Apparently, they loved his route running, his ability to high point the football, and the fact that he still has several years of team control left on his rookie contract. And once trade talks opened up, boom, they pounced. Clinical, quiet, and brilliant. Let's not sugarcoat this. This move stings for Colts fans. A lot of them saw Pierce as part of the franchise's long-term rebuild. He was supposed to grow with Anthony Richardson become part of that young offensive core. Losing him, especially for what's rumored to be a mid-round pick, feels like a gut punch. But it also tells us something about the direction Indy is heading in. Maybe they're more confident in Josh Downs. Maybe they're eyeing another draft pick next year. Or maybe they simply weren't convinced that Pierce was the guy to complement their evolving offense. Either way, Cleveland saw an opportunity, and they took it. You have to respect that kind of aggressiveness, especially in a league where standing still means falling behind. From the Browns' perspective, this could be one of those low-risk, high-reward moves that pays off in a massive way. Picture this, Deshaun Watson, finally finding rhythm again, launching bombs to a streaking Alec Pierce down the sideline. It's not hard to visualize. Pierce has that straight-line speed and ball-tracking ability that fits perfectly in Kevin Stefanski's play-action-heavy offense. Think about the pressure that puts on defenses. Defend the run against Nick Chubb, worry about Cooper in the intermediate game, and now have to respect Pierce's ability to take the top off the defense. That's a nightmare for coordinators. If Pierce can stay healthy and build chemistry with Watson, we could be talking about one of the more underrated acquisitions of the 2025 offseason. There's also a mentality here that Browns fans are going to love. Alec Pierce doesn't talk much. He's not a diva wideout. He's not flashy, but he's a grinder. A guy who gets open, makes tough catches in traffic, and doesn't shy away from contact. You watch his college tape or even his rookie year. Highlights, and you see a receiver who plays hungry. He was always out to prove something, and you better believe he's going to carry that chip on his shoulder into Cleveland, especially after being traded. Players don't forget stuff like that. He's going to want to show the Colts what they gave up on. And Browns fans, they're going to eat that up. This city loves hard-nosed, prove-you-wrong kind of players. Pierce fits that mold beautifully. Of course, it's not all sunshine and fireworks. There are still questions that need answering. Can Pierce develop a stronger release against press coverage? Can he sharpen up his route tree? Can he stay healthy through a full 17-game grind? These are fair concerns, but they're also the kind of questions that come with almost any young receiver still trying to find his NFL footing. The important thing here is that the Browns are betting on traits, size, speed, toughness, and giving him the kind of environment where he doesn't have to be WR1 right away. He can learn, grow, and contribute without the pressure of carrying the passing game. That's a win-win scenario for player and team alike. There's another layer here too. Locker room chemistry. The Browns are building a tight-knit unit, a roster that believes it can contend. And Pierce is reportedly a great locker room guy. Quiet, focused, first in the building, last to leave. He's not going to disrupt anything. In fact, he could strengthen that receiver room dynamic. With a veteran like Amari Cooper to learn from and a quarterback like Watson with a cannon of an arm, Pierce is walking into a spot where everything is lined up for him to succeed. The coaches are excited. The front office is excited. And Browns Nation, they're very excited. You can feel the buzz already, and we're still months away from week 1. That says a lot. Now let's look at a bigger picture. The AFC North is absolutely loaded. The Bengals with Burrow and Chase, the Ravens with Lamar, and that dynamic offense. The Steelers getting back to their smash mouth roots. Every edge matters, every playmaker counts by adding Alec Pierce. The Browns aren't just plugging a hole, they're adding depth, explosiveness, and insurance. This is a move that says we're not just trying to compete, we're trying to win. And in a division where games are decided by inches, that mindset is everything. It's aggressive, it's calculated, and it's necessary. Browns fans have been waiting for a front office that thinks like this. Now they've got one. So final thoughts. This might not be the biggest headline of the offseason on paper. Alec Pierce isn't a Pro Bowler yet. He's not a household name. But remember this moment. Bookmark this trade, because if Pierce finds his groove in Cleveland, if he becomes that reliable vertical threat that the Browns have been missing, then we'll all be looking back at this day, wondering how the rest of the league let it happen. Alec Pierce is officially a Cleveland Brown. And the AFC North just got a whole lot more interesting. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!